suaranya pakai earphone aja ya. Nah, di sini.
Sampai saat ini, selama 1 tahun, kita sudah melakukan suatu inovasi produk dengan menghasilkan beberapa produk, diantaranya adalah untuk komoditas tebu, telah menghasilkan tebu tahan kekeringan. Yang kedua adalah adanya mokaf dengan derivat tertentu, sedangkan yang ketiga padi dengan golden rice dan high amylose yang telah dihasilkan. Dan beberapa publikasi-publikasi yang menjadi tuntutan utama, terutama publikasi yang mempunyai level atau pada kualitas B1 dan B2, dan beberapa PVT atau buku yang berhubungan dengan pengembangan 3 komoditas tersebut. Selain itu, tugas kita ke depannya adalah melakukan suatu sosialisasi daripada produk atau inovasi yang telah kita hasilkan berupa pameran, dan juga kita juga harus meningkatkan juga kerjasama dengan luar negeri. Itu pun harus kita lakukan untuk pengembangan produk-produk atau inovasi apa yang akan kita gunakan ke depannya. Itu merupakan suatu tugas yang harus dilakukan oleh PUI PT Biotin sebagai koordinator keunggulan yang ada di Universitas Jember.
Alur pengembangan kelembagaan Pusat Unggulan Bioteknologi Tanaman Industri dimulai dari pembenahan manajemen, pembenahan website, dan updating isi website, pembuatan dokumen akreditasi laboratorium uji berdasarkan standar ISO, pemutakhiran SOP, kalibrasi alat, pengajuan proses akreditasi, penyusunan dokumen paten, pengajuan paten, dan pemasaran. Pengembangan Pusat Unggulan Bioteknologi Tanaman Industri tersebut dilakukan secara bertahap dan berkesinambungan hingga mencapai sasaran yang diharapkan.
Melalui proyek 4-in-1, Islamic Development Bank ISDB Universitas Jember dipersiapkan menjadi sebuah pusat keunggulan di bidang pertanian dan kesehatan. Salah satu program dan kegiatan yang dirancang untuk hal tersebut adalah pembentukan konsorsium penelitian bioteknologi di bidang pertanian dan kesehatan di Universitas Jember. Adapun kegiatan yang dilakukan oleh konsorsium penelitian RC dalam bentuk penelitian unggulan kolaboratif, pelaksanaan seminar internasional, serta melaksanakan inbound mobility. Universitas Jember melalui konsorsium penelitian tersebut ditetapkan koordinator konsorsium untuk mengkoordinasikan kegiatan penelitian, seminar internasional, serta inbound mobility dengan 3 universitas lain yang tergabung dalam 4-in-1 ISDB Project, yaitu Universitas Mulawarman, Universitas Negeri Malang, dan Universitas Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa. Bersama 3 universitas lainnya, Universitas Jember secara rutin dan berkelanjutan terus melakukan kegiatan akademik dan penelitian yang mendorong stigma bahwa Universitas Jember memiliki keunggulan di bidang bioteknologi pertanian dan kesehatan. Hingga saat ini, sudah 2 judul penelitian kolaboratif yang dilakukan dengan 3 universitas lain, dengan topik khusus yaitu produksi padi unggul berbasis sumber daya genetika plasma nuva lokal Indonesia dan menghasilkan beberapa luaran penelitian seperti bank plasma nuva padi, publikasi, buku referensi, termasuk buku seri penelitian konsorsium bioteknologi. Selain itu, konsorsium juga telah berhasil mengadakan 2 kegiatan seminar internasional dengan menghadirkan 34 pembicara baik dari dalam maupun luar negeri dan 155 makalah yang dipresentasikan. Adapun kegiatan seminar internasional tersebut telah dilaksanakan pada 8 hingga 9 November 2017 dan 1 hingga 2 November 2018. Selain 2 kegiatan tersebut, konsorsium penelitian juga memfasilitasi kegiatan inbound mobility bagi pakar dari luar negeri ke sesama universitas yang tergabung dalam konsorsium. Hingga saat ini, Universitas Jember telah memfasilitasi 5 pakar atau profesor dari luar negeri kegiatan inbound mobility.
Nama saya Tri Agus Siswoyo, saya dari Fakultas Pertanian dan sekarang ini menjabat sebagai Ketua Konsorsium Padi melalui program IDB Project 4-in-1. Jumlah peneliti ada 4 orang peneliti yang mendukung kegiatan penelitian ini. Yang pertama adalah saya sendiri sebagai ketua, yang kedua adalah Dr. Ubaidillah dari Fakultas Pertanian, Dr. Fafan dari Fakultas Pertanian, dan yang terakhir adalah Profesor Bambang Sugiarto, beliau dari Fakultas MIPA. Tema penelitian ini adalah memanfaatkan berbagai sumber plasma nutfa Indonesia untuk memperbaiki varietas
sudah masuk, Pak.
padi yang ada di Indonesia.
Cek
Penelitian seperti yang saya sampaikan dilakukan selama 3 tahun. Tahun pertama adalah kita mengkoleksi seluruh plasma nufa yang ada di Indonesia, terutama daerah Kalimantan, daerah Jawa Barat, dan daerah Jawa Timur. Itu tahun pertama, sehingga dari plasma nufa yang ada kita memperoleh informasi potensi yang dimiliki dari beberapa plasma nufa yang kita kumpulkan. Itu di tahun pertama. Sedangkan tahun kedua yaitu kita membuat dua strategi yang kita ambil. Yang pertama adalah melakukan molecular breeding, dan yang lainnya itu adalah menggunakan molecular modified organism, atau kita memperbaiki dari sistem molekulernya. Produk yang akan dicapai seperti apa yang saya sampaikan di depan tadi, bahwa kita akan memperoleh suatu new variety dari padi dengan kemampuan adaptasi yang baik untuk daerah Indonesia, terutama untuk daerah-daerah suboptimal, lahan-lahan suboptimal. Keluaran yang kita berikan dalam proyek ini itu yang pertama adalah kita memperoleh suatu koleksi plasma nufa yang kita peroleh di tahun pertama. Koleksi itu kita insya Allah memperoleh 91 plasma nufa. Yang kedua adalah deskripsi dari plasma nufa tersebut dalam suatu buku. Yang terakhir itu adalah kita memperoleh suatu prototipe atau bentuk varietas baru yang mempunyai kemampuan adaptasi luas untuk daerah-daerah suboptimal di Indonesia. Melalui jurnal internasional terindeks Scopus. Sejauh ini kemajuan daripada penelitian itu sudah masuk ke tahun kedua. Alhamdulillah kita sudah memperoleh suatu varietas-varietas yang menjadikan target. Yang pertama adalah kita sudah memperoleh parental atau donor yang disiapkan untuk melakukan proses hibridisasi atau perkawinan varietas unggul. Yang kedua adalah kita sudah melakukan insersi suatu protein aktif ke dalam suatu padi lokal, sehingga diharapkan akan memperoleh suatu kandidat dari atau prototipe dari kultivar padi yang baru.
Nama saya Muhammad Ubaidillah. Saya di sini selaku ketua panitia untuk event seminar internasional dengan judul Plant Improvement Through Molecular Breeding of Plant Industry. Konsep yang melatar belakangi seminar internasional ini, kita melihat potensi dari tanaman industri, baik yang sifatnya food atau non food, yang bisa menjadi pangan atau yang non pangan, yang bisa dimanfaatkan ke arah industri. Kemudian daripada itu, bioteknologi sebagai keilmuan yang sangat mendukung untuk pengembangan tanaman industri perlu dikawinkan, sehingga seminar internasional ini bisa memunculkan informasi baru bagaimana bioteknologi bisa digunakan untuk meningkatkan atau mengembangkan tanaman industri. Para pembicara yang kita undang untuk seminar ini ada 5 dari luar negeri, 2 dari Australia dan 2 dari Korea, serta 1 dari Malaysia. Kemudian para peneliti lain dari Universitas Jember yang juga punya skala internasional, serta para peneliti-peneliti lain yang juga berkontribusi dalam bidang pengembangan tanaman industri, khususnya di bioteknologi. Yang ingin kami sampaikan bahwa dalam pengembangan tanaman industri kita perlu inovasi teknologi yang terbaru. Salah satunya misalnya bioteknologi yang kita tawarkan ini bisa memberi masukan bagi para petani Indonesia, misalnya yang membudidayakan tanaman industri, atau juga pada kalangan peneliti bagaimana kajian-kajian terbaru berkaitan dengan bioteknologi khususnya di tanaman industri.
Audionya nggak masuk tapi masuk. Cek, 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 cek. Belum di itu Pak ya.
Gimana ya teknisnya Mas? Ini kan coba kamu ke sana, sini kasih akses untuk
Izinkan saya untuk mengakses.
Universitas Jember merupakan perguruan tinggi negeri yang didirikan pada 10 November 1964 dengan 5 fakultas utama. Salah satunya adalah Fakultas Pertanian. Fakultas Pertanian sejak 1964 hingga 1997 mengelola 5 jurusan. Budidaya pertanian, sosial ekonomi pertanian, ilmu tanah, hama dan penyakit tanaman, teknologi pertanian. Sejak tahun 2017, mengelola 11 program studi, doktoral ilmu, magister agronomi, magister agribisnis, agroteknologi, agribisnis, ilmu tanah, proteksi tanaman, agronomi, penyuluhan pertanian, ilmu pertanian, peternakan.
Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Jember merupakan satu dari 4 fakultas tertua di lingkungan Universitas Jember yang didirikan sejak
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? The next session is about to begin. Please have a nice day and prepare your camera. Thank you.
Universitas Jember merupakan perguruan tinggi negeri yang didirikan pada 10 November 1964 dengan 5 fakultas utama. Salah satunya adalah Fakultas Pertanian. Fakultas Pertanian sejak 1964 hingga 1997 mengelola 5 jurusan. Budidaya pertanian, sosial ekonomi pertanian, ilmu tanah, hama dan penyakit tanaman, teknologi pertanian. Sejak tahun 2017, mengelola 11 program studi, doktoral ilmu pertanian, magister agronomi, magister agribisnis, agroteknologi, agribisnis, ilmu tanah, proteksi tanaman, agronomi, penyuluhan pertanian, ilmu pertanian, peternakan.
Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Jember merupakan satu dari 4 fakultas tertua di lingkungan Universitas Jember yang didirikan sejak tanggal 10 November 1964 dengan tujuan sebagai penyelenggara pendidikan tinggi yang berkualitas, berorientasi pada pertanian industrial berwawasan lingkungan. Prodi yang berakreditasi A dan B telah mencapai 85% dari 11 prodi yang dikelola. Jumlah lulusan telah mencapai 6.800 orang, bekerja di berbagai bidang pemerintahan, perusahaan swasta maupun BUMN yang ada di dalam negeri maupun di luar negeri. MOU kerjasama dengan stakeholder maupun universitas mitra baik dari dalam maupun luar negeri telah banyak dilakukan pada tahun-tahun terakhir ini.
Fakultas Pertanian Universitas Jember telah menjalin kerjasama dengan universitas di kancah internasional, antara lain di Jepang, Korea, Thailand, Malaysia, Pakistan, dan rencana akan bekerjasama dengan India dan Turki. Program yang telah dilakukan pertanian organik.
Pertanian Universitas Jember menyediakan 27 laboratorium yang tersebar di antara 8 program studi program sarjana, 2 program studi magister, dan 1 program studi doktoral.
Laboratorium analisis tanaman mempunyai fungsi untuk pengembangan ilmu dan teknologi ilmu pertanian yang dikhususkan untuk pengembangan analisis tanaman secara konvensional maupun molekuler. Laboratorium analisis tanaman juga merupakan tempat bagi dosen untuk melakukan penelitian dan bagi mahasiswa untuk menyelesaikan tugas akhir.
Lab kultur jaringan ini merupakan suatu laboratorium kultur jaringan yang ada di bawah Fakultas Pertanian, dan ini manfaatnya sangat dipergunakan untuk penelitian mahasiswa S1, S2, bahkan mahasiswa S3 sekarang lagi mengerjakan kultur jaringan anggrek. Di samping itu juga mengadakan kultur jaringan dari tanaman singkong dan tanaman porang.
Nah, selain itu, selain laboratorium yang ada di kampus, kita juga mempunyai kebun percobaan sebagai laboratorium lapang seluas 14 hektar di luar kampus Tegal Boto. Kita juga sesuai dengan visi Universitas Jember bahwa kita unggul di bidang iptek berwawasan lingkungan salah satunya, maka kita akan mendukung program Green Campus itu. Nah, di antaranya Fakultas Pertanian menyediakan sepeda untuk transportasi mahasiswa dan dosen di dalam jam kerja itu dari satu fakultas ke fakultas lain.
Tentu fasilitas sudah disiapkan oleh Bapak Pimpinan dengan berbagai fasilitasnya untuk kuliah. Ini semua juga bisa dirasakan dan dinikmati oleh para mahasiswa. Kami sekarang di fakultas itu sudah punya kurang lebih 16 Ormawa. Ada 6 HMJ, Himpunan Mahasiswa Jurusan, ada 10 UKM. Yang pintar olahraga masuk di UKKMU. Yang senang sebagai pencinta alam, dia masuk di Ormawa yang namanya Papensa. Yang dia senang terhadap dunia seni, dia masuk di Panjalu. Mahasiswa kita sudah menunjukkan kebanggaannya. Betapa siar kita.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? The next session is about to begin. Please have a nice seat and prepare your camera. And for your information, this event currently live on www.unej.ac.id. Everyone can watch this conference wherever they are, so you can inform your friends to enjoy this event online. Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for your coming on the second day of International Conference on Agriculture and Life Sciences 2020. Today, we will have 3 guest speakers. The first is Professor Min Kyung Cho as the 3rd guest speaker from Donggu University, Republic of Korea. The second is Professor Hervé van der Suren as the 4th guest speaker from Catholic University Leuven. And the last is Professor Dr. Heike Vroegwert as the 5th guest speaker from Hochschule Biberach University of Applied Sciences, Germany. Before we begin, I would like to introduce the agenda of this program. 1. Opening. 2. Plenary Session 3. 3. Parallel Session 2. 4. Break. 5. Plenary Session 4. 6. Closing. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, now we are entering to the plenary session 3. We will have Professor Min Kyung Cho as the 3rd guest speaker. The presentation will be moderated by Insinyur Jayus, PhD. First of all, allow me to introduce our moderator, Insinyur Jayus, PhD. He passed his bachelor at University of Jember and doctoral degree at La Trobe University. His expertise about food microbiology. For the professional experience, he earned 646 rank in national and 5 rank in affiliation from Sinta. So now, please welcome Insinyur Jayus, PhD.
Oh, thank you for kind introduction. And it is good to be here with you in International Conference on Agriculture and Life Science. Oh.
Okay, thank you very much for the Master of Ceremony. Sorry, a bit trouble with my speaker at the moment. Good morning, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to have a speaker. It is our pleasure for us, to all of us. We have a very, very good morning this morning. Then we also have a speaker, a wonderful speaker, I think, this morning talking about the bioactive compound from the world, from the plant that all of us here in Indonesia, we have plenty of that herbal plant or herbal medicine. I think it will be good for us this morning. The talk, it will be helpful for us to again improve the potency of our herbal plant in Indonesia. Okay, before we start this morning session, not this morning session, but we have a talk about this herbal medicine. I'd like to read the CV, curriculum vitae of the speaker this morning. She is Professor Min Kyung Cho. Good morning, Professor Min Kyung Cho. And I'd like to introduce you to the audience this morning. Professor Min Kyung Cho, she graduated her bachelor degree from pharmacy, Duksung Women University, Korea. And she got her master degree also in pharmacology from the same university, Duksung Women's University, Korea. And she got her master degree, her doctor degree in molecular pharmacology, also in the same university in Korea. She got plenty of awards. I don't want to read all of these awards, but later in 2011, she nominated in the Woman of the Year in 2011, and she also the Best Poster Award from SOT. She got it in 2013. Okay, I think that's all that we can introduce the curriculum vitae of Professor Min Kyung Cho. Okay, this is another experience, the professional experience of Professor Min Kyung Cho. In 2012 till 2013, she was a member of National Scientific Committee in Korea, and of course, I think in 2013 and 2014, she was Vice Chair of Public Relations for KSUT. I don't know where this is. I think the most recent for his professional experience is from 2015 till now. She is a professor in the College of Molecular Pharmacology, Department of Renal Medicine, Dongguk University, Korea. Yeah, I think this is the introduction for all of us this morning. It is time for you, Professor, to deliver your talk talking about the bioactive compound from the plant. Time is yours, Professor.
Okay, first, sorry for interrupt you. Oh, thank you for a kind introduction. And thanks also to the sponsoring organization for hosting this conference. I'd like to thank to Dr. Janice, a moderator in this session, for inviting me to join today. What I'd like to present is about hepatoprotective effect of ginseng as a bioactive plant. first going to provide you some background of ginseng. Ginseng has been one of the most commonly used herbal medicine in Asia for thousands of years. Almost 50% of the main herbal prescription of Oriental medicine I have marked in red contain ginseng. The prescription are written in Korean on this slide, but you can see ginseng is used in almost 50% of prescription. Ginseng is a plant belonging to the Arariaceae family, Panax ginseng Meyer in Asia, Panax quinquefolis America, Panax nutiginseng Chinese, the major herbal plants. I found that ginseng product in natural farm in Indonesia, I hope you have heard it before, as dietary supplement and food. It is mainly effective in reducing fatigue, physical energy and stamina, and prolong life by increasing the resistance to stress. Many biological activity of ginseng include anti-cancer and cardiovascular disease and anti-diabetes. On the other hand, the research on liver function is limited compared to other fields. Therefore, we evaluate the effect of ginseng in hepatic function. As you know, the liver metabolizes exogenous substance which convert lipophilic compound into hydrophilic, water-soluble, by metabolizing enzyme. This hepatic detoxification is the primary defense system against the damage. This process can be divided by phase 1 and phase 2. The first metabolism is mainly converted into water-soluble by mainly cytochrome P450 enzyme to form a reactive intermediate metabolite. And then, following the second phase, metabolized to more polar metabolite through conjugation by this kind of enzyme. Next, the substance converted into water-soluble are readily excreted in stool or urine through bile and kidney. Phase 2 metabolizing enzymes such as glutathione acid transferase play a key role in detoxifying reactive intermediate which attack macromolecule. The hepatic detoxification function might be impaired under chemical substance, endocrine disruptor, heavy metal, and virus infection. This process progress hepatitis and cirrhosis, ultimately leading to hepatocellular carcinoma HCC and death. Among chemical substances, liver damage caused by drug is called DILI, drug-induced liver injury, which is the main cause of acute liver failure. What drugs are the main cause of this DILI? Surprisingly, it is Tylenol, which we can often buy over the counter. Acetaminophen, called paracetamol, introduced as a surrogate for aspirin for analgesic antipyretic. Shown here, a lot of OTC drugs contain acetaminophen. As a remarkably safe drug, its toxicity was overlooked, but in large amount, it overwhelmed the body's ability to process it safely. This can lead to build up a toxic metabolite, which bind to hepatocyte causing these cells to die, leading to fatal liver necrosis. Therefore, many European countries don't allow non-pharmacy sales of acetaminophen and have small packs in pharmacy. This scheme shows metabolic regulation of acetaminophen briefly. Acetaminophen will be abbreviated as APAP from now on. APAP orally taken, CYP2E1 phase 1 and metabolizing enzyme metabolize APAP producing NAPQI, an intermediate metabolite of APAP. Subsequently, phase 2 glutathione S-transferase conjugation step is followed and excrete this metabolite via bile and kidney. As I mentioned before, overdose of APAP resulted in liver toxicity. That is because high amount of toxic reactive intermediate can amplify liver damage by excess CYP2E1 metabolism or suppression of this phase 2 step conjugation. In this conjugation step, glutathione endogenous antioxidant is also required. To date, the only antidote is to administer glutathione precursor, glutathione, GSH, within 8 hours after taking the drug. If the timing is missed, that can result from acute liver failure due to hepatotoxicity. Therefore, medically, drugs that have direct effect on liver treatment are very limited. So it is a disease with high expectation for alternative medicine. I'd like to my talk into 3 parts. First, the protective effect of ginseng in the APP toxicity model, which is the main cause of DILI introduced earlier. Second, molecular mechanism of ginseng effect. Third, main compound for the protective effects. I use red ginseng here. Red ginseng is actually raw white ginseng turning red from its processing method. Red ginseng made by the process of steaming and drying raw ginseng, which increase the level of saponin. Therefore, we used red ginseng to evaluate the protective effect of ginseng against hepatotoxicity. First, we observed the protective effect in an animal model, whether KRG, I will abbreviate red ginseng, KRG, could improve the mortality rate caused by APAP. So here I used the dose LD50 APAP. Shown here, KRG pretreatment of this dose range showed a significant improvement from 46% to 64% in the survivor test. These improvements were consistent with the result of histopathological analysis below, decreasing necrosis and degeneration by APAP. This slide slide shows the effect of long-term treatment of KRG with low dose of APAP-induced hepatotoxicity. KRG at the dose of 30 mg per kg for 5 weeks exhibited marked improvement in the liver hepatopathology induced by APAP. Very clear. Which is a similar result in biochemical analysis. The increase of AST, ALT, liver damage index marker by APAP was decreased by KRG by 50%. Second part, we evaluate the protective mechanism of KRG effect. As I mentioned before, APAP overdose caused hepatic injury as a result of its reactive metabolite NEPQI here, which is highly reactive, produced by phase 1 metabolizing enzyme, as I mentioned, cytochrome P450-2E1, which is supposed to be easily excreted by subsequent conjugation pathway. However, when it exceeds the limit that can be conjugated, highly excessive reactive NEPQI attack surrounding hepatocyte, leading to toxicity. Therefore, the predictable target for the hepatoprotection by KRG is to suppress phase 1 and increase phase 2. We found the higher retention of intact APAP in plasma sample obtained from KRG group than APAP alone group was analyzed by HPLC. Here, APAP alone and APAP plus KRG group. This is the standard. We found that higher retention compared to APAP, higher retention of intact APAP in plasma sample obtained from KRG group. Multiple analysis show APAP high about fivefold than APAP group. Then the content of APAP glucuronide conjugation form, a major metabolite of APAP, significantly increased after APAP treatment, which was moderately enhanced by KRG pretreatment. This is APAP glutathione conjugated form. So this altered plasma profile raised that KRG protective target might be the metabolic regulation. Phase 1 enzyme CYP2E1, CYP2E1 is necessary for the formation of NEPQI. To evaluate whether differences of the amount of intact APAP in plasma between APAP group and KRG group were caused by alteration in CYP2E1. We carried out Western blotting with microsomal sample. Shown here, KRG treatment for 1 week resulted in slight suppression of CYP2E1 in a dose-dependent manner. Significantly, the higher retention of intact APAP in plasma obtained from KRG group shown before, and this CYP2E1 suppression by KRG suggests that KRG may hinder NEPQI production through delayed APAP metabolism. Highly reactive intermediate NEPQI by phase 1 metabolic enzyme can be excreted by subsequent conjugation process. HPLC experiment data showed KRG treatment increased conjugation form of APAP, raising possibility that predictable target for hepatoprotective action by KRG is also to suppress the residual of high concentration of NAPQI by increasing second base metabolizing enzyme. Therefore, we determined the GST mRNA level. Interestingly, the level of GST2 mRNA was potently increased in a time-dependent manner just after a single dose of 30 or 300 milligram per kg of KRG. Maximum induction by 9-fold. Furthermore, right side, KRG also increased expression of GCLC and GCLM, catalytically modified to form, which is required for glutathione synthesis. So, the glutathione conjugation pathway can be facilitated by glutathione enzyme induction and glutathione production by KRG. Next experiment were moved to hepatocyte cell line in order to investigate the molecular mechanism of KRG effect. The previous results show the potent induction GST leading to excretion of excessive APAP metabolite, NAPQI, raised the possibility phase 2 metabolism is more physiologically advantageous than inhibition of CYP2E1, CYP2E1, or the protective effect of KRG based on potency. Therefore, we focus on the phase 2 metabolizing enzyme regulation. Similar to animal result, KRG significantly increased the level of mRNA and the protein level. Upper mRNA, down protein level in a dose-dependent manner. And right side, the GCL enzyme expression also moderately increased by KRG. In the cell model, I used NAPQI, a reactive intermediate of APAP, to check the induction of GST by KRG directly contribute to suppressing NAPQI. That means NAPQI model removed the phase 1 enzyme regulation of KRG on the APAP metabolism. As expected, NAPQI resulted in hepatic damage showing high ALT and AST. KRG reduced the hepatotoxicity induced by NAPQI significantly. However, GST-A2 gene knockdown using siRNA failed to inhibit NAPQI-mediated increase in AST and ALT level. We couldn't see the effectiveness, suggesting that KRG-mediated GST-A2 induction played a role in protecting NAPQI toxicity. GST-A2 may facilitate the conjugation of GST and NAPQI. The activation of NERV2, CBP, these are transcription factor, in the promoter of GST-A2 play a key role in its induction. To determine the transcription activation for the GST-A2 gene induction by KRG, we evaluated the translocation of these transcription factor into nucleus in the left side, nuclear NERV2, nuclear CBP, dose dependently and time dependently. Then right side, reporter gene assay were performed using cell transfected with a vector PGR1651, which contained the luciferase structure gene downstream of GSD8 promoter region. KRG significantly increased the luciferase activity dose dependently by 12-fold. We next confirmed the functional role of NRF2 CEBP in the KRG-mediated GSDA2 gene induction using mutant promoter. Mutant promoter, we cannot see the big increase by KRG, indicating that GSDA2 induction by KRG need NRF2 and CBP activation. So KRG responsiveness include the NRF2 CBP binding site on the GSDA2 promoter region. And then we evaluated upstream signaling for the GSDA2 induction. Multiple kinases including PI3 kinase, P38 MAP kinase, JUNK have been shown to play a role in GSD induction, reported. To further evaluate the signal transduction pathway involved in the KRG-mediated GSDA2 induction, we assessed the effect with selective chemical inhibitor. Shown here, this chemical inhibitor suppress the induction of GSDA2 by KRG. But MAP kinase like ERK, P38 didn't show any effect. And right side, the reporter gene analysis also showed a similar result with the GSDA2 expression, suggesting that JUNK, PI3 kinase, and PKA regulate the nuclear translocation of NRF2 and CBP following GSDA2 gene induction. I can summarize the result that KRG suppressed APAP-induced hepatotoxicity via alteration of its metabolic profile involving GSD induction. And JUNK, PI3 kinase, PKA are upstream signaling of transcriptional activation, NRF2 and CBP for the GSD induction by KRG, resulting in liver protection. So we evaluated the function on this part. Third, we identified the main compound of KRG for hepatoprotection. KRG is extract. So we want to know which ginsenoside has that kind of effect. The saponin of ginseng are called ginsenoside. According to their basic structure, shown here, classified into panoxadiol and panoxatriol. It is well known that the physiological pharmacological effect of ginseng lie in the glycoside component of ginsenoside. So we observe the GSDA2 induction ability by this side and that side, PPD, PPT, the main compound of KRG. Interestingly, RG3 belonging to the PPD family, but not RB1, RC, RG1, was selectively involved in induction of GSA2, which may facilitate catalysis of glutathione conjugation with APAP metabolite. In the dose range, GSA was significantly induced by low dose, very low dose. Similar to KRG, RG3 significantly increased promoter activity by 13-fold, implying that RG3 transcriptionally activate GSA2 gene. Whereas mutation on the binding site, NERV2 CBP, suppressed the increase by RG3, like KRG, suggesting that involvement of NERV2 and CBP for the GST-A2 induction by RG3. This slide shows RG3 increased GCLC, GCLN, mRNA level with increases in GSH glutathione content, like KRG. We next consider the role of NERV2 on the GCLC and GCLM, subsequently increase GSH content. The nuclear NERV2 plays a key role in the transactivation of GCLC and GCLM. So we evaluated NERV2 expression in the nucleus of cells. Left side, nuclear translocation NERV2 significantly increased by RG3 treatment. In the right side, RG3 increased GCLC, GCLM, mRNA level in the control group. However, right side, using NERV2 specific siRNA transfected gene knockdown and the NERV2 knockout map cell, we couldn't see the induction of GCLC, GCLM by RG3. So NERV2 activation is critical for gene induction by RG3, which lead to mitigate NEPQI toxicity. Here we found that abolishment of a reversal of GSH depletion by RG3 against the NEPQI was observed in NERV2 deficient cells. So what does that mean? NERV2 is required for the RG3-mediated glutathione regulation in hepatocyte in response to NEPQI. I want to introduce more. I divided metabolizing enzyme into two parts, phase 1, phase 2. But nowadays, phase 3 metabolizing enzyme class was reported. Actually, a previous report says GCL and MRP co-expression in many systems suggests that these two genes are coordinately regulated. Actually, MRP family transport expression determine the efflux of APAP metabolite, resulting in alteration of susceptibility of APAP hepatotoxicity. So hepatotoxic metabolite, NEPQI, metabolite efflux into the basolateral membrane and inhibit transport into bile. So there are four kind of, more than four, but I focus on 4 MRP. So MRP 1 and 3 export to the basolateral. However, MRP 2 efflux to the bile, a little bit different. So here we measure the MRP family mRNA level. Interestingly, RG3 differentially regulate MRP mRNA level. MRP1 mRNA level significantly increased in a dose-dependent manner after RG3 treatment. Unexpectedly, RG3 caused dose-dependent suppression of MRP2 mRNA level. RG3 also significantly increased the level of MRP3 mRNA by 4.5-fold, whereas the level of MRP4 mRNA was not significantly altered. When we consider this effect of MRP gene expression, it is possible that RG3 will cause NEPQI metabolite efflux into the basolateral membrane and inhibit transport into bile via induction of MRP1/3 and inhibition of MRP2 respectively. MRP family gene, which include 1, 2, 3, 4, were reported to be NERV2 target gene, so we carried out the role of NERV2 in the MRP expression by RG3 using NERV2 siRNA and the NERV2 knockout map cells. The differentially regulated MRP mRNA level by RG3 were in part mediated by NERV2, like above. This is my final result. RG3 treated cell prior to NEPQI treatment showed protective effect on NEPQI-mediated liver damage, shown here. And GSH content by RG3 treatment was observed in the right, implying that glutathione repletion by RG3 may be a beneficial mechanism for protection against the NEPQI. So I want to conclude here. KRG and RG3 reduce NEPQI toxicity via repletion of GSH content in conjugation with the GCLC-GCLM gene induction. And RG3 differentially regulate MRP, this side, that side, resulting in increased level of MRP1/3, decreasing level of MRP2. The NERV pathway is required for the action of RG3 on the MRP transport and glutathione biosynthesis, which likely contribute to the enhanced protection against the NEPQI toxicity. Taken together, these results provide important information about the beneficial potential of RG3 on the NEPQI-induced hepatotoxicity and coordinated regulation of detoxification and transporter via NERV2. And we proved the role of master regulation of transcription factor NERV2 on the gene induction by RG3. Let me conclude by making this sentence. KRG RG3 contribute to protective effect against hepatotoxic insult via metabolic regulation and master regulator NERV2 transcription factor. Thank you very much for your attention and a long presentation. And finally,
you already collect the question from the audience. I think you can just show it to us, and I can read those questions. Okay. All right. Professor Cho, this is first question. I'm going to read this question, then I hope you can, answer directly to this question. Other than ginsenoside, is there any other compound of KRG that may induce protection against APAP-induced hepatotoxicity and mortality? This is the first question. This is the first question. Another compound of KRG. So please, you can answer this question, Professor Chow.
Okay, I think this question is really important, and I want to know the answer too. Unfortunately, ginsenoside, a pure compound RG3, so expensive. It's not accessible to the animal model.
Okay.
So I just moved to a cell culture model to prove the effect of ginsenoside pure compound against hepatotoxicity.
Okay.
But I estimate, assume RG3 might be the major ginsenoside to protect against the hepatotoxicity, I believe.
It means that there is no other compound, other substance rather than ginsenoside, which may be more efficient. All right, then, is that all, Professor?
What?
Okay, is that all the answer for this question? Okay, all right, then. I think we move to second question. Is wild ginseng more efficacious compared to KRG? Yeah, because we also have the ginseng in Indonesia.
Oh, right. Wild ginseng has a problem on absorption. So person to person difference on absorption is another issue. And second, as I mentioned before, red ginseng has more saponin there. So I would say red ginseng is better than white ginseng to protect hepatotoxicity and other disease model.
Okay, then I think it's a chance for us to explore more substance, more substance from the ginseng available in our country, I think. Okay, there is another question from Bella. What kind of research approach do you use to know every roles of gene in hepatotoxicity? That's the first question. And the second one, did you apply it in animal model to know the effect of KRG? Okay. Roles of gene in hepatotoxicity. Okay, that's the question. Approach that we can use.
Broad.
The roles of gene. Roles of gene.
Okay. For protection against hepatotoxicity is mainly regulated by metabolizing enzyme. As I shown, phase 1 metabolizing enzyme and phase 2 metabolizing enzyme. But at the same time, inflammation is another issue of damage. So we can do some more research on the anti-inflammatory gene like uh, TNF alpha, interleukin, whatever that kind of a thing we can do approach. Oh, can I see the question slide?
Okay, I think if Bella still got another question, just feel free to write your further question regarding on these two questions. Okay, we still have another question, Professor Cho. We still have 4 minutes left for our talk.
Oh,
Yeah, please, Intan.
okay.
There's another
The second
question.
question is about, is there any other animal model I used? Unfortunately, I didn't use the other model. But there are several kind of hepatotoxic model, CCL4 model, a little bit different, but I never tried.
Okay. So you need to try that animal model. Okay. All right then. Another question from Chatur Sri Herwanto. Can you pop up the question, Intan? I think this is okay. We still have 2 more questions here, I think. All right. Okay, thanks, Intan. This is another question, Professor Joe, from Bapak Chatur Sri Herwanto. Question is, what kind of research approach do you use?
Oh, we did. Could you move it to number 4?
Okay, all right. This is wrong one, Intan. Okay, I'll read from the chat.
Oh, okay. I will check in the chat.
So the question from Chatur Sriharwanto is, would you recommend consuming ginseng in traditional way or using ginseng pure extract to develop new drug with the same effectivity as the traditional way? Okay, this is
I would say
the way we
traditional
drink.
way.
Okay.
Intake of ginseng is better.
Intake pure ginseng, is that?
Than pure ginsenoside.
Okay, consuming ginseng in traditional way, is that better, Professor?
Why is that? As you know, the pure compound might be potent. However, at the same time, they can produce toxicity in a higher dose. But just a general traditional intake of ginseng doesn't show any toxicity, as you know, right?
Okay, all right.
I recommend consuming ginseng in a traditional way.
All right. So does it mean that pure ginseng also will will show the toxicity to us?
I mean, ginseng extract is safe. Whatever higher dose.
Okay.
Because there are several kind of mixture of ginsenoside.
All right.
With a different effect. So I think that's safe. And furthermore, it's hard to buy pure ginsenoside. Very expensive. So we cannot take that.
All right. Okay then. But again, if we are going to extract the ginseng, is that the substance, the target of the substance, is that only panaxadiol or panaxatriol? Is that right, Professor Cho?
Oh, actually, previously reported paper showed some specific ginsenoside, the pure ginsenoside, show specific biological effect here. So anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic, and RG3, RG1 shows the CNS stimulator effect, RG2 memory function. There are several kind of results published already.
Okay.
So I just focus on the RG3 on the hepatoprotection.
Okay, Professor Cho, we still have another question here. I think maybe 1 or 2 minutes you can answer this question from Bapak Mokhtar Davis. Do you use specific type of KRG extract or specific metabolite like saponoid for your experiment? This from Mokhtar Davis. Do you use specific type of KRG extract or specific metabolite like saponoid for your experiment?
So as I showed, KRG specific type, a general method of producing KRG already published. So we just follow that process. And specific metabolite, ginsenoside, I purchased from company.
I just purchased from the company.
And second, what make you suspect nerve-2 mediated
NRF, yeah, NRF dependent pathway involvement in the first place related to the hepatoprotective effect of ginseng? Is there your suspect?
First phase of metabolism.
Okay. All right, Professor.
Okay. Why I target nerve-2 for this hepatoprotection? The question is like that?
Yeah. What make you suspect NRF dependent pathway involvement in the first place related to the hepatoprotective effect of ginseng?
Actually, I didn't introduce the nerve-2. Nerve-2 is a transcription factor regulating antioxidant gene battery. So I focused here, phase 2 metabolizing enzyme here. However, nerve-2 is a master regulator transcription factor resisting to antioxidant, resisting to oxidative stress. The reason why I picked nerve-2.
All right. Okay, Professor Cho, there's a very nice discussion this morning. So it is a marvelous topic for us. I think so many audience interested in maybe continuing or doing the similar experiment to what you did. Yeah, but unfortunately the time is over now, 5 minutes over. But again, we can close this session. Professor Cho, thank you very much for your time, your effort to join with us here in our conference. And again, thank you very much. We hope for the next time we will have another activity, collaboration with us from University of Jember here. Thank you very much, Professor Cho. I think a big cheers for her, Professor Min Kyung Cho from Korea.
Okay, thank you very much.
Right, you're welcome. Okay, before we close this session, I think I'm gonna little bit highlight our the topic about the hepatoprotective effect of ginseng and its molecular target. I think we all know that Korean ginseng is efficacious in protection against APAP-induced hepatotoxicity through metabolic regulation, and this show the potency of KRG as the hepatoprotective agent. I think that's all that we can have for the first session this morning. Thank you very much for the participation of the audience in this session. And I also apologize if I got some mistake in delivering this talk for this morning. So I returned time to Master of Ceremony. Thank you very much. Good morning and selamat pagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the moderator and the speaker for informative and insightful presentation and discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, now it is time for you to entering parallel room. There are two parallel rooms with the link. Room A, Smart Business for Agriculture and Healthy Food. Room B, Smart Social and Politics in Industrial Agriculture. And followed by parallel session 2. To join the parallel session, please write your full name and automatically you enter in your room. Thank you.
you.